Hey everyone! Today we're going to be diving into a book with a really powerful message, especially if you've ever felt like you're navigating a storm without a compass. It's called Don't Lose Hope, and we're going to dig into its core ideas for finding your footing when life gets, well, turbulent.
You know that feeling, right? Like you've hit a dead end, and there's just no clear path forward. It's something we all face. We all have dreams and plans, but what happens when life throws a massive storm your way and threatens to sink everything? That's the exact problem this book, Don't Lose Hope, really sets out to tackle. All right, so let's jump right in with the book's foundational idea that life is, well, unpredictable. The book argues that every single one of us is going to face storms we never saw coming, those moments that really push us to our absolute limits. And the book uses this great metaphor of stormy weather to talk about those times when our dreams feel a million miles away and reality is just overwhelming. It's in those moments that it's so easy for despair to creep in, and the book argues that's exactly when we need to find our anchor. So, if life is this voyage through stormy seas, what keeps our ship from just being lost to the waves? Well, the book points to this one powerful tool for navigation, something it says is absolutely essential for survival: hope. And we're not talking about some passive wish, we're talking about a stabilizing anchor. Now, the book gives a really specific definition of hope, and this is super important for understanding everything else. It's not just, wishful thinking. It's a solid expectation, an active anticipation of something good on the horizon. This idea of hope as a real, forward-looking force is basically the bedrock of the whole book. And that brings us to the book's central metaphor: hope as an anchor for the soul. Think about it. Just like an anchor holds a ship steady in a raging storm, the book argues that hope can stabilize our minds, our will, our emotions when we're in the middle of chaos. It keeps us from being swept away by fear and despair. So why is this anchor so critical? The book lays out three key reasons. First, it says that without hope, when our dreams keep getting pushed back, our hearts get sick. We get disheartened and spiritually worn out. Second, like we just talked about, it provides that crucial internal stability. And third, in the book's framework, hope is actually the first step to faith. You have to be able to imagine a better outcome before you can truly believe in it.
Okay, and this is where the book really shifts gears. It moves from defining what hope is to identifying what it believes is the ultimate source of that hope. According to the author, real, unshakable hope is found in one specific belief, a belief in a God who can step into what look like totally impossible situations. To back this up, the book gives us a few examples from the Bible. The first is this incredible story of a widow who is about to lose her children because of a massive debt. Her situation seems completely hopeless, right? But the story ends with a miracle where her last little jar of oil multiplies, giving her a way out when it looked like there was none. Then the book zooms out from a personal crisis to a collective one. It uses this really striking image of a valley full of dry bones to represent an entire nation that has completely lost all hope. It's a powerful metaphor that sets the stage for a prophecy of impossible restoration, a huge theme in the book about bringing back what seems gone for good. But the big one, the main example the book really drills down on, is the story of Abraham and Sarah. Here you have an elderly couple, way past childbearing age, who are promised they'll have descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. I mean, from a purely logical, biological standpoint, it's impossible. And it's from this very scenario that the book pulls its practical guide to hope. So you've got to ask, right? What could possibly be the basis for hope in a situation like that, when every single physical fact is screaming, it's impossible? Well, the book argues that Abraham's hope wasn't just optimism or wishful thinking. Nope, it was rooted in something way more concrete. The book points to this passage as the absolute key. It says Abraham, going against all evidence, believed in hope. And the reason for this seemingly irrational belief is right there in that last phrase, according to what was spoken. His hope wasn't just a vague feeling, it was anchored to a specific promise he'd been given. And that brings us to the absolute core message of this book. The foundation for hope, especially when things look bleak, isn't our own strength or our ability to stay positive. According to the author, it is a firm belief in God and His Word. The promises found in Scripture are presented as the unshakable ground you can build your hope on. So, how do we actually apply this? This is where the book moves from the why to the how. It offers a practical 4-step guide modeled directly on Abraham's story for anyone who's navigating their own seemingly hopeless situation.
So the book breaks it down into 4 actions. First up, believe the promise. That means finding and holding on tight to a specific promise that applies to your situation. Second, don't focus on the negative circumstances. The book says it's crucial to intentionally look away from the discouraging reality and keep your eyes on the promise. Third, demonstrate endurance. This isn't just passive waiting, it's about patience and determination. And finally, give praise to God. The idea here is that expressing gratitude in advance for what you're hoping for is a powerful way to make your hope even stronger.
And to help with that second step, not letting your circumstances get you down, the book offers this really cool visualization technique. It goes back to that story where Abraham is told to go look at the stars to really grasp the scale of the promise made to him. So, the advice is to create a vivid mental picture of the outcome you're hoping for and hold on to that image instead of replaying your current problems over and over. And all of this leads to the book's ultimate conclusion about why hope is a rational choice within its worldview. It argues that hope is totally justified because it's placed in a power that operates far beyond our own limited abilities or imagination. This idea is really the capstone of the book's entire argument for why you should never, ever lose hope. So, as we wrap up our look at this book, it leaves us with a really fascinating question that kind of goes beyond its specific context. Whether you call it hope, belief, or just focused expectation, what is the actual role that our expectations play when we're trying to overcome challenges that seem completely impossible? Something to think about.